Hello and welcome to The Cat and the Parrot. One thing that's really topical at the moment is the pressure on the families, because obviously parents are having to be there for the child all the time, but they've also got their responsibility, their jobs, their lives, pressures from sorting out other families as well. So how do we, and should we, from a safeguarding point of view, how do we support families who maybe are struggling and don't know how to cope? That's the next question, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's come up quite a lot for even staff, individual staff, when we're doing training about the guilt of doing online stuff when their own children or families are around them and they can't be there for them, as well as how a parent could, any parent of the children that we're serving, the same way as well. So definitely it's something to consider. And again, what we've come up in quite a few of the sessions have been in the training kind of thing I've been doing there, I suppose, has been the ground rules of, for example, you might have the 12-year-old child who's got an iPhone or a phone. So like at school, are you kind of supervising that during the daytime?
Yeah.
Okay. And I get that some children are, for example, at the moment messaging children, their friends during the kind of class time, which they may not be doing during a school environment.
Day. Yeah.
So I think it's the ground. I think it's the ground rules again around parents and schools reminding parents about adults' duties of care around, meaning the adult of the home, the person in charge. When I say charge, responsible for the children. I don't mean in charge as in person of the household. I just mean the person who's responsible for looking after. And I don't mean siblings too. Ideally, we're talking about the person who has parental responsibility, the carer, caregiver. However, we know in quite a lot of families, birth parents can't be available for various reasons, but there's somebody who's suitable and deemed to be a trusted person who is that protective factor for the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we know primary children, they might need more.
Go on. The children are going to be.
I think the primary children, they need a bit more TLC on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're online more. Whether it's a primary age child or a secondary, but be mindful the primary age child might need more prep, more kind of delicate time with the interaction with an adult and supervision, hence online. Don't get me wrong, secondaries need that too, but the reality of you don't need to check up with them quite a lot as much as a younger child.
No.
So I think it's not feeling guilty, setting the ground rules in place that children know that after each session they can have a break.
Yeah.
Encouraging meet-up times throughout the day. Encouraging that after the first 2 periods, everyone goes to the kitchen or something. We have a cup of tea or whatever you're going to do. Break the day up a bit.
Yeah.
And having that touching base and, taking notes of it. And I know some people can't do that. I really get that. But there has to be some element of interaction and stimulation with that child over the day.
I think communication is really key as well, and educating them to come up with questions. I mean, my daughter, for example, she's into TikTok. Anyway, she was doing a TikTok and came to me and said, "I can't use this. I'm so sad that I can't use this." And I looked at it and thought, "Well, why can't you use it?" And she said, "Oh, because my car registration number plate's in the background." Now, I hadn't even thought of that, but obviously we had educated and we had talked about sharing information online, but she had taken that context and used it in her own. It's like learning how to cross the road. We don't teach them to cross the road at one place. We try to give them content of being able to cross the road at any place. Absolutely.
So yeah, exactly that. And I think I did that with my younger daughter, who's 12, soon to be 13, around messaging. She knows that she's got limited friends for the nature of her new friendship groups that she's made in secondary, and therefore she hasn't given a number out to lots of people. So when she gets a message saying, "Hi, this is my new number, message me," and with no name on it, etc., I'm thinking, well, she now knows to query that, because she knows mummy's job but not the detail, but she knows there's some people who pretend to be nice that aren't nice. As a result, we now block them and delete them, whatever, rather than actually she's taking it on as true and they're going to be her new friend now. So absolutely, I think we need to keep having those conversations, whether the child's being sent a request to sell nudes, as a parent, or even as a member of staff, still being aware that is happening more.
Yeah.
Because we found out from the first lockdown that there's more risk being done. Children are doing things online in real time because they're not seeing their friends.
No.
But also they want to get the attention. So we found again through the first lockdown that the lack of interaction, or the only time they can have adult unsupervised time, is online, because in their home they're being watched, aren't they?
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So that's why they're taking again more risks online with their peers, getting those likes. And we know that in some of those apps, like what you mentioned, people, did you know some children can attach an Amazon wish list to their accounts? And they get deliveries home, to them. And one could argue grooming. Why are you buying someone you don't know a gift? Do you understand? And then they're going to buy, all those things. I think parents need to be aware of it, and they're not. I think it's really important. I think in the training, I mentioned quite a lot in my day job generally about there's loads of really good websites that are reminding parents and adults about the risks of online. There's loads of them. There's one that I know of called Protect Young Eyes, a website. I think they're American, but they are really up to date with all of the apps, from TikTok to Fortnite to all of them. And they tell parents the good and bad, but also what parents need to be doing to kind of keep their child safe. So you sending newsletters every week to parents, whether you do it online or whether you're doing it, through emails, sending the attachment, sending a link to something where you're raising the awareness for them, because they do need to be aware.
I'm going to be devil's advocate though, is that the parents that we want to read that never do. The parents that have already got it are the ones that read it.
Yeah.
So how do you get to the parents that aren't reading it and aren't maybe talking it through with their children, and maybe it isn't even in their radar, or how do we get to them?
So I think it would be, again, some settings have done this where they've on your landing page through your parent tab, you might want to call the different tab online safety, or through your parent tab have an online safety tab, and then you're going to signpost them to for example, there's loads of really good PDFs, whether it's through ChildNet, NSPCC, that you can have on there where they can read about certain things, but also reminding them that, for example, we know, unfortunately, there was something where in Italy, I heard again through the connections of online safety colleagues about a girl who did a challenge and unfortunately didn't survive, a young girl in Italy a few weeks ago. And as a result, they're warning people about this particular challenge. It's like holding your breath thing. But the point there is, by reminding parents about real cases through a forum that you would have done anyway, then you're going to signpost them back to your website. So I think it's just putting the layers in, that they're aware that, the importance of online, the importance of this is real, the importance of, again, having a ground rules with your children. And again, some schools have got the principles of dovetailing the principles of empowering parents to make decisions and have ownership of the child's devices throughout the week, kind of staged around daytime being school time, and then your break times being you can spend 20 minutes on your phone, and then you go back to class. So by you supporting families in doing that, then they feel better at, and knowing there's a consequence if they don't. I'll tell your teacher rather than, you're not listening to me, but hey ho, that's fine. You know what I mean?
I mean, every teacher's going to hate the fact that you've suggested that we're the people that tell them off.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I know, but when I say that, I just mean some children actually listen to you more than their parents. You know what I mean? So I meant your authority and your status. You're not scary. You're not scary. Honestly, your teachers are great. You're great.
Those challenges are interesting ones, aren't they? Because there was that whale one that turned out to be
a hoax, absolutely. But the one I've just shared came from some very good resources online that are big online safety companies. And when I heard it from them, I knew it was true, because I didn't listen to the first speculations ones.
We've got to be really careful, haven't we, about which information because fake news is another example of e-safety, isn't it? So we need to be really, we've got to learn from what we're preaching, really, haven't we?
Absolutely. And parents, so I think about 3 years ago, when I used to deliver training, people used to say, oh, I don't understand social media at all. Now, the last, year or so, I've been saying from the middle of 2020, I've been telling people, in order to do child protection and safeguarding, you have to know about social media. You have to.
You
The
have
two
to.
go together.
Yeah.
And that's primary, secondary, and even early years.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. Because by not doing that, you're missing a lot in the room. You know, you're
Oh.
only seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah.
There could be tension, there could be things going on. That,
Yeah.
again, some children, especially the secondary lot, they're able to express themselves more online than they can in person.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Okay, that's another 10 minutes gone. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.